Wow. Okay, why do we start on this one? Paul, I'm going to go with you first. Rob Baxter said it is what it is. Rules, you know, they're meant to be stuck to, not to be broken. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, because if you sign up to play in this league, it is an agreement amongst the teams who play in a competition. It's like any set of rules, like a game you make up as a kid. Once you make the rules and you stick to them, then everything functions as it should. In this extraordinary circumstances, they've got themselves in a position where they are so far away from everybody else in terms of their financial situation that it's unrecoverable, even though they brought Edward Griffiths back in to supposedly try and right the ship. The practicalities of it are they are so far away from what everybody else is doing. Forget about their success at the moment. They are not playing by the same set of rules, and we've swung away in Europe for years, English teams disadvantaged by the salary cap, by the workload on the players, and the fact that you're getting hammered every week, because every week's a massive competition to try and stay in the league and then qualify for Europe. You get yourself in a situation where you look at someone like Clermont and say, well, if we had 10 million quid to spend on a squad, we would expect to be competing with them, and it looks like that's how Saracens have got their success, and they're paying a massive price for it.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, you're a good person to have sitting here, actually, and this is a good club to be in when we hear this news, because, you know, you've lost titles to Saracens, you've lost numerous Premiership titles. Firstly, was there bitterness when you heard about them breaching the salary cap, and how do you feel now with the news that they will be relegated because of it?
I think as players, we always believe that we can beat a 15 that's put out there in front of us on the pitch. So we believe we could have won those finals, and we didn't. And we put that on us at the end of the day. What happens to the squad and to Saracens now is beyond our hands. We're not too fussed as players, but I can appreciate where coaching staff and fans come from, really.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, Sam, a similar question to what Sonia asked Rob, I guess. Step too far, or have they got their just desserts?
I don't think it would be unjust. If they've taken that action, it's for a reason. So I'm fascinated to know, as we all are, what is it exactly that happened. But it's got to be bad to get relegated. But you know, when I heard the news, I hit Paul like that. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's massive.
I know,
it's massive
huge
news. Like we were saying, it might happen at lower league football when they go into administration or something for financial problems. But to happen to such a giant of rugby, you know, like one of the biggest clubs in world rugby as we sit here, it's massive news. So I'm fascinated in what the players' mindset is now. Do they stay loyal to Saracens? Do they want to desperately stay in the Premiership and play Premiership rugby? I mean,
how do you think they'll react?
I'd like to think if I was at Cardiff, I'd want to stay at Cardiff, but it's not as simple as that. You know, if they might. Rugby's not about money, but if some players have been told their salaries are going to be slashed in half, then for some players that's a big motivation. You know, so it depends what the player's motivation is, but it's all going to be thrown up in the air at the minute. It's going to be fascinating to see how it unravels.
Yeah, and again, as Sonia said, it's wider implications. It's England. It's Lions. There's a Lions year next year. You know, this is massive. It's not just about the Premiership. It's a warning shot as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is. You see how quickly Rob Baxter wants to make the story about everybody else playing for the league, playing by the rules, trying to win the competition, trying to do well in Europe. He wants to get away from the Saracens narrative of what now for them. That's going to be absolutely impossible certainly for us and anybody in any discussions, because this is the beginning. What happens next? I'm sure there's more to come out about why relegations happen now. I'd be interested to see what the discussions or what the potential opportunities were for Saracens to try and comply with to avoid relegation, whether there are other issues in terms of everybody's been calling for the review documents to be made public so that everybody can see the position that they were in. That might have come into negotiations. So this is going to run over the next weeks, months, and well, certainly rugby years, I think.
Your point on the Lions is a big one. So there's a lot of guys there who'll be hoping to play for the Lions.
What do they need to do?
The only shot window they would have then would be the autumn internationals, which is still quite a way away from the Lions or the Six Nations. Other than that, you're not going to get selected to play for the Lions, so no disrespect what you do in a championship game. So how motivated are they to play for the Lions? If you miss a Six Nations campaign through injury or a few games, you're not going to be acknowledged for it. So those ambitions have a massive factor as well. It's going to be so interesting how it unravels.
So much to talk about. We're running out of time.